Broadband access allows kids to go to school and access to health care, but in my district, more than 20% of farms lacked internet access, and without any of these rural communities are disconnected, they are left behind. Can any of you speak to a little bit about how farmers are using data and technology on around the farm? Is there ways to cut costs with it? And what is a broadband or a lack of broadband access, which is affordable, high-speed access, do to a farm's bottom line?
Mm-hmm. And that these institutions that he's smashing, because he just sees it as, you know, basically he sees allies and partners as people to be exploited, not as a partnership. That is making us weaker. And the idea that the system of alliances that we built was a giveaway by the U.S. to the rest of the world, we benefited from that more than anybody by having the richest, most powerful country in the history of the world. Now,
and here they are on cell phones talking about things that are the highest security, highest sensitivity, and just talking about it like, you know, you would text your, you know, your brother or something.
That's why I made sure that the law requires that this information be made public. I did this to make Joe Biden accountable. And now Elon Musk and President Trump need to be held to the same standards. Now, we use this website to uncover that Elon Musk stole $41 million of your money.
I'll remind you, Phil, the thing Americans have been most concerned about, at least that I've gotten the most calls about in the last month, is how Elon Musk and his Doge team got into the information of every American about their tax returns, about their filings, about their financial data.
2.5 weeks ago in the Judiciary Committee bill, we passed legislation which said instead of these federal district judges issuing an injunction that applies to the entire country, we think it should be limited to the parties of the case in that respective jurisdiction.
Darius, what did you want to share this morning?
You know, Lenten season is about repentance. It's about being retrospective, but also recommitting ourselves to the mission, the ministry and mandate of Christ, which, as Christ articulates, the Spirit of the Lord being upon him to feed those that are hungry, to help those that are in need. And so throughout this Lenten season, we recommit ourselves through our faith to remember our neighbor, to help our neighbor.
Mia Love never backed down from a challenge, whether it was breaking barriers, standing up for constituents, or taking on difficult fights. Like her relentless efforts to bring Josh Holmes home after 2 years of unjust imprisonment in Venezuela. When Josh Holt finally stepped off the plane in Salt Lake City, Mia was there to welcome him home. But that, of course, was the end and not the beginning of that process. She'd actually been there the day before when she met Josh in person for the first time. You see, Mia fought for 2 years to get this man out of a Venezuelan prison, a man she had never met, but she recognized him as a Utahn overseas in need of help.
These mass terminations are truly unjust, and the fact that we are all public servants, especially speaking for the Presidential Management Fellows Program, all we ever wanted to do was just be a servant to the American people, and without this, you're really taking a massive cut in terms of what the U.S. government can provide for the American people. And without incredible colleagues that I've spoken with all throughout today, this country is going to suffer as a result of us not being able to just do what we want to do, which is be of service to you.
And I just wanted to ask you, if Medicaid was to be cut, what goes through your mind for your two sons?
It would be devastating because they're there because of safety issues, and it would be impossible to do it ourselves at home.
What he's learned all these years, it would get lost. The basic stuff that he was taught would get lost.
He would have no place to go during the day, and would miss the involvement with other people.
Right. It's for their health and well-being and long-term safety.
What they're trying to do is destroy the Social Security network by firing employees, closing offices, and requiring Social Security beneficiaries to go to offices to do their work and not do it on the telephone. This will overflow the Social Security offices and present them with the opportunity to privatize, which is the last thing we should do.
Let me just go through a couple of numbers here. One, Medicaid spending has skyrocketed. It was $409 billion in 2019. It's up to $618 billion in 2024.
Say those numbers again, Nate.
$409 billion in 2019, and it is now $618 billion in 2024. That's a 51% increase in 5 years.